Welcome to ZMark's Hydraulics 101 technical training on valves. So I think it's a good time to get started. So let's get the ball rolling. Today we're going to cover the fundamentals of valves in terms of design and also how they perform in specifically extreme environment applications. We're going to go over things like valve considerations, types of valve designs, or what you'll see common, industrial hydraulic valve standards that you have to abide by, and then, of course, things from common applications to cryogenic solutions to solutions for harsh and extreme environment applications. All right, so before we get into the nitty-gritty, let's, of course, introduce ourselves. And I'm Bernard, one of the sales engineers over at ZMark. And ZMark is a fluid power distributor providing industry-leading fluid power solutions with components like cylinders, pumps, motors, valves, accumulators, fluid connectors, and so many other things. We have 4 locations across California. As our motto states, powerful ideas start here at ZMark. So ZMark is an authorized distributor and service center for Parker Hannifin, Enerpac, Lincoln SKF, Delta, Tempesonics, and other fluid power product lines. We offer full service engineering and can help assist in builds and repairs on a wide variety of power units, cylinders, pumps and motors, and other fluid power components. We can also do quick hose assembly services at any one of our locations. All right, so let's get started. Hydraulics 101, Valves 1. The fundamentals of valves and extreme environment applications. So when it comes to valve design, there are numerous considerations you can take into account to spec in what is optimal for your system. You have things like ball valves, check valves, flow control valves, pressure control valves, directional solenoid valves, and also electrohydraulic valves. If you'll take a look at above on the images on the screen, you'll see the common symbols that will be used for the valves or those valves in any schematic you'll see in the industry. And of course, each one handles different types of applications, so it's really key to have those considerations in mind when you're choosing them. All right, so a little bit of a deeper dive into each valve. Ball valves are really just simple shut-off valves, and they can block flow in both directions. You'll commonly see this as two-way valves, but of course there are three-way ball valves you'll see in the industry are used in certain applications. And then of course you have check valves, which blocks pressure and flow in one direction and protects the pump from back pressure. And you also see these on load holding applications for an actuator. And then you have flow control valves, which can meter the flow. And in this image, you'll actually see that it's a manual adjust to meter the flow. And this can be used as a shut-off valve as well. And then pressure control valves limit pressure and protects the system from overpressurization, which is very important with instrumentation or other high-spec components in your system. Then you got directional solenoid valves, which controls the direction of the flow, of course. And then your electrohydraulic valves, which also controls the direction of flow, but also controls pressure and or the flow. All right, so as I discussed earlier, I brought up and I mentioned specific standards with hydraulic valves, pardon me. Now, when you deal with certain valves, for example, industrial hydraulic valves, you run into certain standards for how they mount and the flow and pressure they are able to actuate upon. That information would be found in the likes of the NFPA and ISO interfaces, which is things related to the NFPA DO3 standards. And then also keep in mind, patterns of the valve depend on flow, and valves can be modular or stackable like a sandwich valve. In common applications, you find so many different types of valves, just as the minor amount we've gone over today. From standard check valves at the pump outlet to more complex directional and servo proportional flow control valves to direct actuation, there are certain applications that can be classified as extreme temp and high pressure. Let's take a little bit better of a look into those types of applications for a better understanding on how the valves are used. So with extreme temperature and high pressure applications, there are numerous valves you'll have to deal with. You have things like your directional solenoid valves, which, like we said, control the directional flow. You have your ball valves, which, once again, is a simple on-off for the system, depending on where you put it in the line, of course. Then, of course, there are manual or piloted flow control needle valves, whether it be inline for your needle valves or through the use of a valve body or manifold. So, applications that you normally see with extreme temperatures are very high pressure operations, or specifically ones that we see a lot over here at ZMark, are things like cryogenics, scientific instrumentation, production and storage of gas, like liquid CO2, and then, of course, food processing, which in itself entails a variety of unique processes. ZMark Engineering is available to help specify for these types of applications and many others, so please feel free to reach out to us anytime for us to get the ball rolling on helping you with that. Now, of course, along with your other high-spec solutions, you have your cryogenic solutions, as I mentioned. So for things like this or this application, we recommend directional valves like GC valves, which offers stainless steel and brass options and also has seals suited for cryogenic applications and pressure ratings up to 2200 psi. We also recommend flow control valves like Parker Autoclave SM and VM series. And then, of course, with cryogenic service ball valves, we can provide valves with full port stainless steel, whether it be 304 or 316 stainless steel, and a variety of different seals suitable for cryogenic applications. All right, so some key takeaways from today. For valve considerations, we discussed pressure, flow, temperature, fluid placement, which are all very critical to design and function. On the other side, ZMark has its custom solutions to assist you and your team with whatever is necessary to get your system running. We can review your applications or projects and provide you with coordinated expertise to meet your specific design needs. So, we also provide you with several different resources online to make things even easier. On the screen, you will see zmark.com/valves, which can assist you with product selection for valves. Or you can go to zmark.com/cryogenic for a link to our process control guide, which is a little more on valves and also covers hose, tubing, fittings, and quick couplings. And third, of course, you have the zmark.com/tools link. And lastly, the Hydraulics 101 link, www.hydraulics101, which would have a review of all the training videos, much like this one and many other ones that we've gone over. So thank you so much for attending today's Hydraulics 101 Valves 1 training. Please visit www.hydraulics101.com to make sure you can sign up for upcoming Hydraulics 101 trainings. Of course, like I said, feel free to reach out to ZMark anytime you have any questions or even just discussion that needs to be had in regards to your system or application. Our ZMark sales team can be met at 323-721-5598, or you can simply just shoot an email over to sales@zmark.com.
ZMark,